Good afternoon. My name is Sharon Sullivan. I'm with the Appalachian Women's Museum, and I'm here with Cheryl Beck. Cheryl is a former member of the Appalachian Women's Museum board, but more importantly for this discussion, Cheryl is the person who created our airing of the Quilts event. And I wanted to take a few minutes to have Cheryl share with us some of her thoughts about airing of the quilts, which hopefully will resume in April of 2021. So be looking for that. And to understand how Cheryl feels about quilts, you might want to take a look at her specific discussion about quilting. But for right now, we're going to focus on airing of the quilt. Is that okay with you, Cheryl?
Yes, that's fine, Sharon. Glad to be with you today.
So, Cheryl, probably when I first met you, you were all enthused about airing of the quilts. Can you tell our audience why you thought it was important that we at the Appalachian Women's Museum do the airing of the quilts event?
Well, Sharon, I think it was an excellent opportunity to bring craftsmen to the museum with their creations. We don't really have many opportunities in the area for people to display their quilts. Secondly, I think it was a great community event. It brought people out to see the quilts, to see the museum, to just enjoy the day. So, to me, quilts are such an important part of our heritage, and to spotlight that and the people who create them is a good thing.
So tell me a little bit about how it felt for you. We did two before we had to cancel this year. Tell me a little bit about how you felt when you saw all the quilts out here.
Yeah, it was just amazing to see the quilts hanging on the lines around the porch, to see them on clotheslines in the yard, to see them in the house. It just filled the house and the grounds with color and vibrancy, and it was just an exciting feeling to see that.
So you and I both taught or believe in the power of stories. Do you have a favorite story at all about either of the airing of the quilts events?
Well, I think the fact that we got so many people involved, both on the committee and on the volunteering that day.
Yeah.
I guess total we probably had 30 people or so who helped out. So to me, just the involvement and the excitement that those people brought to the project was probably my favorite thing. I think too, now that I think about it too, we maybe inspired some people to tell their stories. And some people brought information about their quilt. The booklet we put together told more about the history of that particular quilt. So I think in that way we did a good service to the community by having a written record
Oh, I think so too.
of their stories.
So one of my memories is I expected the women, but I was really surprised to see quilts brought by men. Were you surprised by that?
Somewhat, not too much, but we did have a few men who got really excited about being part of the airing of the quilts and bringing. They were real tickled to show what they had done. So
And we're certainly an equal opportunity displayer. We want everybody's quilt.
That is true. Yes.
So, in the 2 years that you did the event, it grew a little bit from year to year, which was really impressive. When I think about it, you've talked a little bit about the involvement of community and recognizing your craft, but you also tried to turn it into a family event. You want to talk a little bit about that for us?
Sure. We had whole families come out, mothers with daughters and grandchildren come out, and we tried to plan some activities that would involve the younger people. Carolina Quilters, for instance, had a tent where they had put together a little quilt square for the children to work on and take home. We saw daughters enter their mother's quilts and really brag on what their mothers had done, and the mothers just beaming with pride that their children were so excited about their quilts. So I think anytime you can do something that involves intergenerations and brings a family together, that's a good thing. And the museum is a natural location for that, because this is a family home.
Before I ask you the last question, I know you engaged some community partners, and I always worry that we don't give our partners enough airtime. Is there any group other than Carolina Quilters that you want to recognize?
Right. Well, we had a committee made up of people out in the community who came together and met several times prior to the airing of the quilts for the planning. So that planning committee was invaluable to the success of the airing of the quilts. Dogwood Crafters was a big help with their things that they had done. We had some other folks that donated books, quilting books and magazines and fabric, and we had an exchange, a fabric exchange, which was really well done and coordinated by one of our committee members. So I think it was, there was just a lot of things going on. We had music.
Yes.
Again, music on the porch, which was enticing for families to listen to and stop, take a break.
So, events grow, sometimes beyond what the original group thought, sometimes consistent, and it's always fair to put your 2 cents worth out there. What's your vision of what airing of the quilt should be like in Jackson County? Or for, actually, because let's be clear, we serve a larger audience, but we drew a lot from Jackson County.
Right. The vision. Well, of course, we're limited as to the number of quilts we can take and display well, unless we were to set up lots more clotheslines outside, and the weather is always an issue.
Yeah.
But one vision would be to have more quilts, if possible. To have a quilter, we had a quilter in residence or that day who demonstrated in the canning house. So I thought continuing that would help spotlight a quilter in the community who maybe is not well known.
Okay.
Another possibility for the airing of the quilts is to have the stories of the quilts and a picture of each quilt in a book format. And
Okay.
I think that would be a neat treasury of the day. So, and I did want to mention the importance of Emma Wartenberger.
Yeah. If you're interested for more information, please visit our website at appwomen.org or email us at friends@appwomen.org. Stay safe. We'll see you soon.